Hi everyone, it's Monica, and welcome back to TaylorMade Cards for You. I'm excited to be participating in the 3rd annual Save the Crafter YouTuber Video Hop. This is a celebration of card making video tutorials where a bunch of talented crafters come together to create different types and styles of cards. This collaboration is an opportunity for you to get to know different card makers that you may not be aware of, and hopefully find some new channels that you can subscribe to. Today I'm going to be creating for you a mixed media Memorial Day card. Now I know Memorial Day is only celebrated in the US, but hopefully I can give you some new ideas and techniques that you can take away to use in your card making. Now while we would love for you to subscribe to every single channel, we understand that every person is not necessarily going to be your style. But if you do like the video and it does look like something you'd be interested in following, we would love for you to subscribe to our channels. We also have lots of prizes that we're going to be giving away, but I'll talk to you a little bit more towards the end of the video. So let's go ahead and talk about the card that I'm creating. Now I know that there are a lot of crafters out there that are intimidated with mixed media. So I wanted to go ahead and show you a couple of easy techniques that you can use in creating some mixed media cards. Now you don't have to be an expert in coloring. You don't necessarily have to create a fancy background. So what I'm doing here is just showing you how to create a very easy striped background using some blue painter's tape. Now painter's tape is great because it's sticky enough to hold down, but it's not sticky enough so when it comes up it's going to tear your paper. And you can create any type of design using your blue painter's tape. I decided to go with the sideways stripes because I am creating a Memorial Day card, which could also work as a 4th of July card as well. And all I did is just take my little ink pad and wipe it over the areas that weren't covered on the blue painter's tape. And as you can see, I wasn't really going for perfection. I just wanted to get somewhat of a grunge background. And the painter's tape enabled me to be able to create some nice crisp lines. All right, so the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to add some texture using this stencil from Tim Holtz and some embellishment mousse from Nuvo. This embellishment mousse is from the new Tonic kit that I just recently got. It was a kit 21, I believe, and it was sitting here on my desk, and that's why I decided to use some of these products. If you've never worked with the embellishment mousse, it's really creamy and it's really great to work with stencils. It's almost like you're frosting a cake. All you need to do is just take your palette knife and then just continue to move it over the stencil till all the white isn't showing anymore. And then once I know that I have all the coverage, I typically will go back with my palette knife and I'll give it one last swipe because I don't necessarily want it to be thick. I just want to have full coverage. And once you have full coverage, don't forget you can take some of that excess mousse and put it right back into the jar because this is going to be perfect to use on your next card. Now this may go without saying, but when you are pulling up your stencil, you want to make sure that you don't necessarily swipe it side to side because then you're going to mess up your design. You want to pull it straight up and that way you don't affect the stenciled area that you just created. Now also when you are working with mousse, this is something you're going to want to clean up right away because once it dries, it is hard and it'll be difficult to get off of your surface as well as your stencil. So you're going to want to take a minute and clean those up. All right, so once your embellishment mousse is nice and dry, you're ready to add some more to your background. Now, I'm going to be adding a piece of ephemera to the right side of my card. So I didn't want my next layer to be something that has too much texture. So I'm working with another product that I got in my Tonic kit, which are some gold flakes. Now, these gold flakes work really nicely. They're kind of like foiling. If you've ever done foiling, you're going to want to have your background have some adhesive, something just tacky, not too wet, but something that's going to grab onto these foil flakes. And then all you do is just rub the foil flakes over your tackiness of the card and they're going to stick right to it. Now, as you can see, I went random for my background because I wasn't really going for a specific design. But with these gold flakes, you can easily have a more distinct pattern and then it would outline your pattern. I do plan on doing some more videos using these gold flakes, so be sure to subscribe if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet. All right, so once I had the gold flakes on the areas that had the tackiness, I went ahead and took my brush and kind of just brushed over the card just to get all the excess flakes. And then I'm going to go ahead and take my Tonic guillotine trimmer to trim down my card. Now, when I'm trimming down my card, the piece that I'm working on, I usually like to mat on another piece of cardstock just because I like colored borders. So if I'm making an A2 card, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, I use my trimming in quarter increments. So my blue cardstock that I'm looking at here is going to be 4 inches by 5 1/4, and then my piece that goes on top of the blue cardstock will be 1/4 of an inch on each side, on your right side and then your bottom side of that. Now, when you're trimming down something that you've created, you want to be a little bit strategic. And if there's a part that you don't obviously want to have cut off, you want to keep that in mind. So now with just 3 simple items, I've created this background that really has some nice interest and texture. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and take my ATG gun and I'm going to adhere my top panel to my blue piece of cardstock. And then I'll be ready to add it to the base of my card. Now, if you're going to be adding anything that needs some drying time, such as Nuvo drops, typically you're going to want to add your design piece of cardstock onto your base before you add any of those, because then once you're done, you can go ahead and set it aside to dry. But I'm not going to be doing any of that. All I'm going to be adding is a piece of ephemera, and I'm going to be using one of the paper dolls from Tim Holtz. Now, that tool that you just saw me use is a distressing tool, and this is a way that you can add some more distressing to the sides of your cardstock, which kind of gives it a little bit more of a grunge look. All right, so as you can see, there's 3 paper dolls here that I chose that would work great for Memorial Day or 4th of July cards. I ended up going with the little girl with the flag since it is Memorial Day and we are celebrating our nation. Now, these paper dolls do come in black and white, but you can easily add some color to them as I'm doing now. I'm just simply using some of the ink from my ink pad with a little bit of moisture to color in the red stripes. And then I'm also going to take some blue ink to color in her sash. And then because I wanted her to pop up just a little bit, I did end up adding some foam tape to the back and adding it to the top of my card. And then at that point, I added it to my white card base. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about the prizes as I finish up this card. As I indicated, there's many of us that are offering a prize on our video. So you're going to want to go ahead and listen to the videos and follow the instructions on that video to qualify for the drawing of the prize. Now, for my video, you do have to be a subscriber to my channel and you do have to leave a comment. Now, don't forget, you're going to want to comment on every single video because there's tons of prizes that we're going to be giving away. Also, when you are commenting, if you could please indicate if you're located in the USA or internationally so that we can award the prizes accordingly. Now, I'm going to be offering a $20 gift certificate to my shop. If you're not aware, I do have a shop called Tailor Made Cards for You, and you can find it at tailormadecardsforyou.com. The gift certificate is going to work in my digital section, and that way I can offer this to not only people in the US, but also internationally as well. There's also an area on the top left-hand side of the website where you can become a site member. And as a site member, you're going to have access to some of my free digital images that I add throughout the month. This is just a way for me to say thank you for supporting my channel and to keep you coming back to my website. Okay, so as a final touch to my card, I did decide to put a little sentiment. And as you saw, this sentiment was just one long string, and I went ahead and cut it down so that way I can add it to the top right side of my card. And the sentiment reads, "There is nothing like a dream to create the future." And that certainly does define the USA. So I hope that you've enjoyed my process for creating this mixed media card and that I've enticed you to become a subscriber to my channel. If you've enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave me a thumbs up. And remember, this is a hop, so you're going to want to check out the next video. I also will leave a list of all the products that I've used to create the cards, so if you're interested in trying to test out any of these new products, you'll be easily able to find these in the links below. All right, everybody, thanks so much for stopping by, and we'll see you again next time.